and see how close I need to be?
Yeah.
I can't be out here.
Okay.
I have to be up here.
Okay.
And we just need to remind everybody.
Okay.
They're all set about the same.
Yes.
So if you're just about 3 inches, they'll work.
Okay. I will remind everyone
Okay.
to talk right into the microphone.
Yep.
Thank you.
These two are hot. We'll turn these two on just before we start.
What two are hot?
The ones with cords.
Oh, then okay.
And then the other two are off because they're battery and you don't want to run out of
Sure.
battery.
Absolutely. Thank you.
like nervous and excited. And
Yeah, all those feelings. That's pretty good. What's life going to take you this summer? You doing anything fun this summer?
we've had a couple of vacations, and then I leave for my mission at the end of July.
Where are you going?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Really? Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I've only been in the airport, but I don't know if you know Mr. McKee, Jason McKee.
Yeah.
Remember that name? He served me. And he just loved it. He just absolutely loved it. Met so many awesome people there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Sweet. That's pretty cool. There's no water. Hi, Michaela.
Hello.
How's this winding down to graduation thing working out?
It's going good.
A lot of lasts. You think, oh, this is the last time we do this. Last time we do last. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing. A lot of lasts. I didn't expect that. Who's this? What does that say? Do you know, Michaela? Robert's ready.
Guess I'm not gonna take that out of there. Do I need to? Welcome everyone. We want to get started, and we apologize for being a few minutes delayed. We have, at the very first, so I don't forget later, we have 2 board members who are not able to join us tonight. So we want to excuse Julie Taylor and Wade Hyde tonight. They had previous engagements. All right. Welcome. And we are going to start with our first of all our reverence by Brian Smith. Oh, we're going to start with the retiring employee recognitions. Mrs. Fife.
Test. Test.
All right. All right. This is seriously one of the most exciting times of the year for our retirees. It's so fun to meet with the retirees and just meet with each of you and just thank you for all of your years of service in the district. And it's so heart-touching to see how hard it is for you to retire and how you have just put so much time and dedication into your positions here. Thank you for that. So we're going to start with Debbie Blaisdell. And before I do read this, I want you to know that some of the write-ups were really long, and so it's included in your packet, but I just have a brief write-up for each of you. So Debbie, if you'll come up. Come up, Debbie. Debbie, after decades of shaping minds and hearts, Debbie is putting away the bigger bopper for the final time. She has been a constant pillar of the school, known as much for her kind heart and wise words as for her ability to see potential in every student who walked through the doors. While our school will feel quieter without her familiar presence, her legacy lives on in the thousands of students she has inspired to work harder and dream bigger. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, Karen Braithwaite, and I don't think Karen is here. Karen was an incredible colleague, and during the years I had the opportunity to work with her, she consistently demonstrated a deep dedication to her students. She always went out of her way to find creative strategies to help them learn, truly wanting her ESL students to grow and succeed. Karen was remarkably flexible, always collaborating with fellow teachers to meet their classroom needs and ensuring her students received the very best support. She was a true team player who worked seamlessly with everyone around her. Karen, you were such an essential part of our team, and your absence is truly felt. We miss you every day. I wish you all the joy in the world as you start this new chapter. I wish you nothing but the best in this exciting new chapter. Happy travels. Okay, Teresa Brown, if you'll come up here. Teresa Brown is amazing. She has been at Fielding for over 25 years now. She is able to love the students while teaching them. She is ambitious, kind, dependable, and very knowledgeable at her job. She is always willing to jump in and help others. The knowledge she has of literacy is unsurpassable. When you meet Teresa, you know you have met someone special just by saying hello. Fielding will not be the same without her knowledge, compassion, and ability to care for others. Thank you, Teresa, for from everyone at Fielding Elementary, and good luck in your future fun. Patty Brunty, we didn't hear back from you, so I don't think Patty's here. We want to celebrate the incredible career of Miss Brunty, who is retiring after 20 years of dedicated service at 3 Mile Creek Elementary School. For 2 decades, Mrs. Brunty has touched the lives of students, families, and colleagues with her kindness, patience, and unwavering commitment to education. Miss Brunty's classroom has been a place where children have felt safe, inspired, and empowered to learn. Her positive spirit and gentle encouragement have helped shape great students. Her legacy will live on in every child she taught, and every lesson she shared, and in every smile she brought to our hallways. Thank you, Patty. Okay, Tracy Burrows, if you want to come up. There you are. Okay. After decades of unwavering dedication, Tracy is stepping away from the classroom to embark on a well-deserved retirement. She leaves behind a legacy not just in curriculum knowledge, but in the countless young minds she nurtured with kindness, patience, and unwavering belief. Congratulations are in order for a career spent touching hearts and inspiring dreams. Thank you. Steve Carlson. Steve Carlson's 44-year career, he began in 1982 as a health science teacher, became the assistant principal at Bear Lake High School, and then the principal at North Summit High School. He became the superintendent of schools for the North Summit School District, then for the Carbon School District. He came to Box Elder School District as superintendent in 2017 and has served our district for 9 years. Steve loves to play the guitar and sing. He has been a member of the band Superintendents of Rock, which has evolved into Superintendents of Rocks Plus, to include his son and grandson. Sometimes in the course of the conversation, a phrase will remind him of a song, and he will start singing it. He has brought good humor to the high-stress atmosphere of his job without detracting from the seriousness of situations. He is friendly and easy to approach and has shown his true concern for staff, students, and community. He will truly be missed. lost my place. What did I do with Steve's? Okay. All right. Greg Dupuy, I don't think he's here. Greg first took the wheel at the Box Elder School District in the spring of 2015, turning a student daily commute into a launch pad for adventure. Driven by a genuine excitement for life, Greg's mission has always been to inspire that same spark in the students, constantly seeking out opportunities to uplift and support them, those who need it most. A lifelong devotee of science fiction, he famously brought the wonders of the galaxy onto the bus, blending imagination with the daily routes to make every ride feel like a journey through the stars. As he concludes his final route, serving the Riverside area of Box Elder County, his legacy remains one of kindness, curiosity, and a reminder that there is always a new frontier to explore. Cindy Gibbs is also not present. After 17 years of dedicated service, we celebrate the retirement of Cindy Gibbs, a cornerstone of the Box Elder School District transportation team since the fall of 2007. Throughout her tenure, Cindy's commitment went far beyond the driver's seat. She truly cared for every student who stepped onto her bus, ensuring they started and ended the school days with a friendly face and a safe ride. Her career took her across the district on a wide variety of routes, from the sweet energy of preschool runs to her final chapters navigating the roads of Portage. Cindy's kindness and steady hand will be deeply missed by the colleagues and families she served so faithfully for nearly 2 decades. Jan Hawks. Jan Hawks has worked for BESD for over 30 years. Most of them have been at Fielding Elementary, where she has taught 2nd grade. She is an amazing teacher and has changed the lives of many students. Her greatest attribute to the classroom, besides her ability to teach, is the kindness and love she has shown to her many students. She will be missed here at Fielding. Thank you, Jan. If you'll show that to Jamie, she'll take a picture. Thank you. Marcia Haney. Congratulations on your retirement. After so many years of dedication to help youth, this milestone is well earned, Marcia. Thank you. Oh, Marcia, I think yours went on. Marcia touched, so okay, we're going to continue it, Marcia. If you had more. That was just on that page. Marcia touched so many lives and helped shape, inspire, and guide so many students along the way. Her patience, wisdom, and commitment have left a lasting mark on the students she worked with over the years. Whenever I run into a former student, they always speak with great gratitude of what she did for them. Julie, I didn't see where you sat. Julie Hess. There you are. Okay. Julie started her career at Bear River Middle School. She was always cheerful, helpful, and more than competent. She became the special education administrative assistant in 2019. She keeps our department running smoothly by keeping everyone and everything organized and on track. Julie's calm demeanor and efficiency have been integral to our organization. She will be deeply missed. Rebecca Hodge, I don't think she's here. Becky started with BESD in 2002 at Lakeview Elementary. She became the financial secretary at Bear River High School in 2010. We are so thankful for the time and dedication she has given not only to our students and faculty at Bear River High School, but the coaches, booster parents, clubs, activities of all kinds, and every other community member of or outside organization that works with the school. She has been a key part of keeping the school running smoothly and efficiently. We wish her well in her retirement and hope she recognizes how Bear River Middle School appreciates her. Happy retirement, Becky. Lori Korth, and I didn't see Lori here either. Lori is the type of teacher who isn't afraid of a challenge and can roll with the punches. She is amazing at finding new solutions to challenges, adjusting her instruction to meet her learners' needs, and finding the silver lining in every situation. Lori can find a way to laugh and enjoy any situation. After many years as a highly effective 5th grade teacher, she has gradually worked her way down to 1st grade, where she has been nothing short of remarkable. She took on a science of reading and became the master at teaching early childhood literacy and numeracy. We often tell her she needs to write down all the little tricks and strategies she does, or that we need to record her doing them, and she often replies with something like, "I don't even think that was something special because it's just what I always do." She is simply naturally gifted educator who has impacted countless students' lives over the years, and she will be greatly missed. Congratulations, Ms. Korth. Okay, Ronald Mark Nelson. I don't believe he's present either. After over a decade of dedicated service, we honor Ronald Mark Nelson as he retires from Box Elder School District since January 2014. Ron has brought up unparalleled level of expertise and genuine passion to the driver's seat. Ensuring the well-being of countless students beyond his daily routes, he served as a vital mentor and trainer, using the patient nature to help new drivers find their confidence behind the wheel. Recognized by parents and students alike for his compassionate spirit, Mark didn't just transport children, he built a community of care on every bus he drove. Carrie Rawlinson, also not present. Since Carrie first joined the Box Elder School District in 2002, Carrie has been much more than a staff member. She has been a vital part of our speech department for 24 years. Carrie's impact on our students cannot be overstated. She was a big part of our speech staff and possessed a rare gift for connecting with children. She never settled on just enough, consistently going above and beyond her formal duties to ensure every student felt seen, heard, and supported. Okay, Bonnie Robinson. I know you're here, right? Bonnie, you were here. Did she leave? Oh, yeah, she was here. Okay. Bonnie Robinson began her teaching career 26 years ago as a sub in the district. During her time as a sub, she taught many classes, including some long-term like math and chemistry. In 2015, Bonnie was officially hired as a teacher at BESD, where she spent her career teaching biology and zoology. From bird wings to flatworms, from sponges to sharks, her classroom was anything but ordinary. Students didn't just learn science, they experienced it with hands-on opportunities that brought the subject to life in unforgettable ways. As she begins the next chapter, we wish Bonnie all the joy that retirement brings, especially time spent with her grandchildren. Congratulations, Bonnie, and thank you for your years of dedication. All right, I don't see where you're at, but Kathy and Dwayne, do you want to come together or separate? Together? Okay. Okay, I'm going to read Kathy's first. Catherine Runyon began in 1992. Catherine Runyon taught secondary language arts from 2000 to 2014. Kathy served at Grouse Creek School teaching K-5 and language arts for grades 6 to 10, co-heading the school since 2017. Kathy has been a secondary language arts teacher and reading intervention specialist for grades 8 and 9, leading PLCs, designing ELA curriculum, and writing instruction. Kathy has been a positive role model with influence on both students and colleagues throughout her career. She is patient, kind, and has shared countless talents with others over the years. She is a friend to everyone and will be missed. Happy retirement. And just stay here and let me have a hug. Dwayne, beginning in 1996, Dwayne Runyon instructed swimming, water safety, and lifeguarding and managed the Bear River Natatorium. From 2000 to 2014, Dwayne served as co-head teacher at Grouse Creek School, teaching grades 5 through 10 with a focus on mathematics, science, and facts. Since 2014, Dwayne has taught math, engineering, technology, computer science, and robotics for grades 8 and 9 at Bear River Middle School. Dwayne is an incredible teacher who is always willing to share his vast knowledge with others. He is helpful, intelligent, and has the best Hawaiian shirt collection he truly deserves to relax and enjoy his retirement. We will miss you. One other note, Dwayne told me that he started wearing his Hawaiian shirts in April and has wore a different one every single day up until retirement. Congratulations, Dwayne. Marlene Spenlove. Marlene began her career with BESD on April 24, 1997, serving as the financial secretary at Box Elder High School. She dedicated 20 years to the high school before moving to the district office in February of 2017, where she took on the role of accounts payable clerk. Marlene has been an invaluable part of the district office and ever since. Her sharp attention to detail made her the go-to person for catching errors and preventing computer fraud. Beyond her outstanding work, Marlene's fun personality and contagious laugh brightened every day. We are deeply grateful for her 29 years of dedication in Box Elder and wish her endless joy and adventure in her well-earned retirement. Happy retirement, Marlene. Irlanda Stevens. Where are you? There you are. Okay. Irlanda began her career with BESD in 1994 in the office at the Box Elder School District. 10 years later, in 2004, she became the principal administrative assistant at Adele Young Intermediate School. After 16 years at ACYI, Irlanda became the district facilities administrative assistant in 2020. Since that time, she has used her professionalism, expertise, and wonderful personality to help oversee the educational environment for the entire district. Her common sense approach to situations keeps things going smoothly and in the right direction. Irlanda has been an important asset to the Box Elder School District. A well-deserved happy retirement to Irlanda Stevens. Karen Stevenson. I'm not sure if she's here. Okay. Karen has been such a champion for every kid who has walked through our doors over the years. She has helped them celebrate even their smallest success. Karen has taught countless individuals small group lessons. Karen has helped our students find their own voices and independence. And she has an amazing ability to set high expectations with kindness. Even on the toughest days, she has truly helped to make our classroom feel like a family. While we're going to miss your energy every day, we are so excited for you to finally kick back and relax. Enjoy every minute of this well-deserved retirement. You've certainly earned it. Corey Thompson. Let's see where you sat. There you are. Okay. Corey began his career over 30 years ago as a teacher in South Summit School District. In July 1998, he joined the Box Elder School District as an elementary teacher. Through continued education, Corey earned his administrative supervisory certificate, which enabled him to serve as an assistant principal at 3 different schools within the district, and in 2013 as the school principal at Young Intermediate. Corey is ending his career with the Box Elder School District as the facilities director. While there are many flattering words to describe Corey, the ones that come to mind are those of supportive mentor who leads with integrity, empathy, and trust. Thank you, Corey. Judy Thompson. I don't think she's present. Judy has been a valuable member of child nutrition since July 1999, and her contributions over the years have made a lasting impact on our program. She has worked at multiple schools, consistently bringing knowledge, professionalism, and integrity to every site she has worked at. Judy has always been willing to ask questions, embrace new challenges, and continue learning, qualities that have strengthened both her work and her team's around her. We sincerely appreciate all that Judy has done throughout her career and are grateful for her dedication. We wish her all the best in her retirement and the exciting adventures ahead. Cappy Williams. Cappy Williams was born to be a teacher. Hundreds of students and families in the Box Elder School District have been touched by her kind, caring way she has gone about her job over the course of her career. After working many years in early grades, Cappy recently transitioned to 4th grade, and though she has She was a little nervous at first. She soon found that the loving, nurturing skills she used for so many years with the littles were just as needed for the older students, too. No matter what challenges she had faced, Cappy has always brought a positive attitude to her work and never misses a chance to express gratitude to others. She is always seeking a positive outlook and strives for excellence in academics with her students. She frequently goes out of her way on her own time to do nice things for her students, showing them she cares. Students may not always remember every phonics lesson or math concept she taught them, but one thing they will always remember is how she made them feel like they mattered and were loved. Congratulations. Congratulations, Kathy. Melanie Williams, since she's not here tonight. Melanie Williams has roamed the halls of Box Elder High School for most of her life. She is a Box Elder High School graduate, but her real impact has been on students at Box Elder High School for 28 years as an educator. Miss Williams has been given numerous awards for her dedication and service to the students of Box Elder. In 2020, she was honored as the homecoming dedicatee, an honor given to those who have made tremendous contributions to the high school and community. That same year, she was also honored with the Larry Finley Leadership Award, an award given to someone who possesses the combination of personality and skills that makes others want to follow her direction. Melanie was awarded the Starfish Award for being a faculty member who made a difference in students' lives. Melanie's dedication has woven a legacy into the fabric of Box Elder High School, leaving an inedible mark that will resonate in the halls for generations to come. She is loved by the faculty and has left a huge imprint on the hearts of thousands of Box Elder students. Janet Wood. Janet's career has been marked by her unwavering commitment to years in child nutrition, in maintaining a clean, safe, and welcoming environment for everyone at Box Elder Middle School. As a custodian, her meticulous attention to detail with her warm, friendly demeanor have made her an indispensable part of our school. She has not only kept our school clean, but has always brightened our days with her cheerful spirit and infectious laugh. Her work ethic and positive attitude have set a high standard for all who follow. We will certainly miss seeing Janet at the school every day. We wish her all the best as she begins her new adventure. Congratulations, Janet.
There we go. Would the retirees be willing to come up and shake our hands? We'd love to congratulate you personally. So happy for you. Congratulations. You two are amazing. Thanks for all the work you've done for our kids. Congratulations. Thank you for taking care of our little ones.
was like, I don't know if we're.
You're good. You're good. You're good. All right. As those of you that would like to exit, we will get started with the next section of our meeting.
Get a hug, but she's got too much stuff. It always takes her 5 minutes to get her stuff.
Who?
Grace.
Oh, Grace.
I'm not hugging anybody.
Except I guess I tried to get too big of a hug. I could figure out what she wanted me to do.
She's going to turn me around for a
Dance.
picture. You know,
So full disclosure, I said she couldn't leave without kissing you. She said,
Something to look forward to.
We're going to get started tonight with a reverence by Board Member Brian Smith, and then a flag salute, Pledge of Allegiance by our business administrator, Neil Stevens. We will then move on to our recognitions portion of the meeting, led by Jamie Kent, our Public Information Officer.
This nation for us to enjoy the freedoms that we have. We pray this night that we will be guided to do what's best for our communities and the students of Palo Alto School District. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
All rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to its republic for which it stands, for a nation under God, for national liberty and justice for all.
Not long ago, I was presenting to the board and the findings from the state of Utah that EL was a critical need in our school. And so we have been working on this with the support of our district leadership, especially Heidi Jo West. During the last year, we hired 3 amazing EL teachers for this year. They are at North Park in Lakeview. Lynette Trevort started this all on her own, but after Jenny Cross had put in 6 years previously as the EL coach in the district, laying the framework for what this would become. But Lynette did a whole bunch of work, and about halfway through this year, we got approval to hire 2 more, Jenny Cross and Jen Penland, to join us. But between those 2 schools last year, they had 5 students exit the EL program by showing proficiency in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And because of the work that was done by them, along with the paraprofessional before Jenny Cross at North Park, Lupe, between the 4 of them, they were able to get 28 students to exit EL from those 2 schools. So we just want to thank them for being a part of our vision and helping kids learn at high levels every day.
We're going to have you guys come shake hands with the board, and then we'll take a picture of you standing in front of them. So.
Thank you. Look, I don't know if it does.
All right, next we're going to have Rhonda Pace come up and her science fair participant students. Right here. Okay. Okay, so these students were able to participate in the Ritchie Science Fair at Weber State. Overall, they earned $3,260 in cash prizes, $4,700 in scholarships, and 5 special awards. The placers were Relaine Logan, second place Environmental Science, Aaliyah Orella, first place Zoology, Evelyn Reeves and Kaylee Hatch, first place Social Behavior, Sarah Pace, first place Botany, Avery Baugh, first place Physics, and Elena Burbank, first place Chemistry. And then from Harris, we have Emmeline Tolberine and Avery Jensen, who placed 3rd place in Chemistry in the junior division. So we want to congratulate them and their teacher helpers who have spent a lot of time working with them. For those of you that don't know, the Ritchie Science Fair is a highly competitive event where people who are in homeschool, charter schools, private schools, and public schools all compete for awards, and they're at very high levels. And so we want to recognize them and all of their hard work. Brandy Johnson come up? And then Ashley is going to present this to her since she is our director over literacy. And this is a reading award.
All right, we'd like to recognize Brandy Johnson. She was awarded the Science of Reading Award from the State Office of Education. This award is such a big deal. There are very few people in the state that have won this award. We only have one other teacher in our district that has won this award. And it is a very intense process for this to go through. So Brandy was nominated as being an example of everything a reading teacher should be. Everything that we've learned, best practice and research, Brandy does it in her classroom. The state gets the nominations, and then they come and observe her to make sure that she really does live up to all those things. She was observed twice by the state office literacy team. The last time she was observed, I got to come and watch with them, and their jaws were on the floor the entire time. They just kept saying, "Oh my gosh, can you see how she did that? She's amazing. Look what she's doing with those kids. Look at what they can accomplish." They were so excited to see the amazing things that were happening in her classroom. We are so lucky in our district to have Brandy Johnson, not only to teach the first graders at Century, but she spreads her knowledge with everybody in our district. So congratulations, Brandy. It's very well deserved.
Hold it. Brandy, just a second. I don't do this very often. Okay, would you please tell these folks and the board the same story or the same that you told us when we came out there that day? That was very profound to me, what you told us. Okay. Would you mind?
Which microphone?
This is hotter.
Okay.
Why don't you use that hot one?
Okay, this is what I said.
Hot as in loud.
And if you don't know the history is that the universities, I don't know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this. I'm used to little people. Sorry. Okay. The state put teachers at a certain time through a new training. It turned out my training at Tufts State University didn't actually teach me how to teach kids how to read. So I was pretty upset. I went year and year and year, and I couldn't get my kids reading. My scores didn't look good, and I was going to quit. And this is what I told these guys when they gave me that award. I said I was actually going to quit. I was done. I felt like a failure. So it was 2020, COVID year, so it was kind of a stressful year. We just come off of that shut down and all the things, and we had masks and all this stuff. And my literacy coach came in, and she said, "You're getting a new training from the state." And anytime we hear that, we go, "Oh," because it's just another training. And we've been to so many trainings, and most of the time the trainings don't help us or get us where we need to go. So I wasn't super excited. I started doing the training, and I was telling these guys the first video is of this teacher, and she is crying. She's talking about how this program worked. And I thought, okay, I could feel the way she felt because I had felt that way before. So that was kind of the start of it. And I became obsessed with the training, and then I just dug in. And since then, we have tweaked and tweaked and tweaked to the point where we can do it. We can do it. So these things they keep telling you can do, we actually can. We can get kids reading. So it was just so exciting that now you can't shut me up. I'll talk to you about it all day, whoever wants to talk about it. It's so exciting. So anyway, so I was just grateful for the training. Thank you for the training. So now we can do our job that we're supposed to do. I'm just supposed to do my job, and I couldn't do it. So anyway, so that's what I said.
Thanks, Brandy.
So our strengthening PLCs is going to Mallory Sadar. And then we have expanding student connections to Chelsea Schneringer. And elevating employee appreciation to Justice Servas. share why they were nominated. So Mallory is a fantastic instructional coach at Golden Spike Elementary. She's doing everything she can in her coaching role to support teachers, which then helps support students. She helps complete grade level data for teachers, and she's able to help them see their growth and make adjustments in areas where they need to make improvement. Let's see, she is, on top of that, she completes regular coaching cycles with the teachers and debriefs with them afterwards and helps set appropriate and attainable goals. Mallory is definitely doing what she can in her role as an instructional coach to strengthen PLCs by strengthening teachers. All right, Chelsea is consistently designing meaningful lessons and assignments that go beyond the basics, helping students build real-life skills around wellness, decision-making, and personal relationships and responsibility. Her thoughtful planning requires that every activity has a purpose and relevance, and she is really good at keeping students engaged and preparing them for healthy, informed lives. So Chelsea is a health teacher at Box Elder High School. And Justice Servas is a 4th grade teacher at North Park, and this is her first year. So one of her teammates had to go out for a while, and Justice, just being a first-year teacher, stepped up, shared her lesson plans, and helped mentor the sub through this long-term leave. She also swapped in her class with the sub's class to help ensure that all the students were receiving high instruction. Her willingness shows that she's a true team player, and she's made significant improvement and growth, and she is deeply committed to supporting her fellow educators and the success of all students.
Thank you so much for all the work that you do. We appreciate you. We're going to move on to our certificated employee and volunteer recognitions. These will be presented by Mr. Brandon Nelson and Mrs. Ashley Nelson.
Okay, we are representing the Box Elder Administrators Association. Every year we send out nominations for outstanding employees. So we have several different categories, and these people have been nominated by their peers to receive these awards.
All right, sorry, I'll wait till I'm at the mic. I've got the first one. Box Elder School District Outstanding Building Administrator is Dallin Gittens. Dallin is taking on a lot of great projects. He has a set vision for Century and what he wants it to be, and is working hard to reach those goals. The data for the schools keeps improving, showing that students during his leadership are learning at higher levels compared to the state growth than other students in the state. Dallin is hardworking, dedicated, and caring. He is the type of administrator that truly makes change in the lives of students.
Okay, our next nomination is again for Outstanding Bill Lead Administrator for Secondary, and it actually is going to Brandon Nelson. He's feeling awkward. He was not a part of the selection. We chose it for him, and I just told him to go with it, so he's fine. Brandon is very supportive with teachers and families and really cares about the challenges we face. He is always willing to help in any way that he can. Congratulations.
All right. Our next Box Elder School District Outstanding District Administrator. So, sorry, I just want to kind of like include the different levels. So this is one of our directors. It is my privilege to nominate Jeff Morris, Director at the District Office, for Outstanding Employee Recognition. In overseeing dual language immersion, English language learner programs, and district assessment, Mr. Morris demonstrates exceptional leadership and a strong commitment to student success. He has been a consistent advocate for world language and DLI programs, ensuring their growth, quality, and visibility. His presence at key events such as DLI senior banquets and Chinese New Year celebrations reflects his genuine support for students, teachers, and families, strengthening both program identity and community engagement. He facilitates collaboration across school and helps us work on textbook selections. In addition, Mr. Morris prioritizes teacher development by providing opportunities for continued learning and professional conferences. He also maintains a thoughtful and effective approach to assessment, ensuring data is used to support instruction and student achievement. Through his leadership, visibility, and dedication, Mr. Morris exemplifies excellence in education and is highly deserving of this recognition.
Okay, our outstanding elementary teacher from the north end of our district goes to Jill Dallin. I wholeheartedly believe Jill Dallin deserves this award. It takes a truly extraordinary teacher to successfully teach 5 different grade levels in a single classroom and still accomplish everything she does in a day. Jill does this with remarkable skill, patience, and dedication. She is an incredible educator and the only teacher serving the Grouse Creek community. I have personally watched her in the classroom, and what stands out most is the genuine love and care she has for her students. She treats everyone as if they were her own.
So our Box Elder School District Outstanding Elementary Teacher for the South End is Randy Joe Call. Randy Jo is such a kind person. She works hard for the students and is always willing to try new things to ensure student success. Randy Jo is a great team lead and works well with whomever she is asked to. She has grown as a teacher each year and has so many skills and strategies to provide quality instruction for students.
Okay, our Box Elder School District Outstanding Secondary Teacher from our north end is Jamie McKenna. Jamie is a stellar teacher and musician. She is committed to the success of her students and employs great strategies from 6th to 12th grade so that her students are always progressing and learning new things in an organized and methodical way. She goes above and beyond to put together the Foundations concert so that her students have opportunities to work with amazing composers and conductors from around the country. She is brilliant and thoughtful at coming up with solutions to any problems and is so fun and easy to work with.
Our outstanding secondary teacher for this South End is Samantha Elliott. Samantha is always working to help others, not just students, but other staff members as well. She is selfless in her pursuit to create a learning environment for students. She is helpful, and even though has had things going on in her own life, finds the time to commit to her students and her friends instead of herself.
Okay, our outstanding related service employee for the north end of the district is Amy Jo Summers. Amy Jo always goes above and beyond for everyone in the building. She's constantly trying to find new ways to help students and teachers. She is very understanding and supportive to all who she works with. She has helped turn this school around and helped give everyone such a positive attitude about learning and hitting goals. I know I wouldn't be where I am today without her. She's always there to help us no matter how silly the question or the need is. She is such a light and an amazing example in the school.
Our outstanding related service employee for this south end of the district is Angie Carter. Angie is so passionate about her job. She works so hard and helps others in many areas. I believe she truly wants the best for the child. That makes a difference. Also, Angie goes above and beyond to help her students with their speech and language goals. She is also a team player and is often checking in with IEP team members to make sure we're all feeling supported and that our communication is clear. Thanks for all you do.
Okay, our outstanding volunteer goes to Dion Anderson. Dion had several nominations, but I'll just read one. I would like to nominate Dion Anderson in recognition of her outstanding dedication and positive impact at our elementary school. She consistently goes above and beyond to support our students, always offering her time, energy, and care to help them succeed. Whether she's assisting in the classroom, working one-on-one with students, or helping with school activities, her presence makes a meaningful difference in the lives of children.
Our outstanding volunteer for the south end of the district is Ernie Anderson. Ernie also has several nominations. I'm going to read one that kind of summarizes it all. Ernie is truly one of the most exceptional volunteers I have had the privilege to work with. He is consistently kind and welcoming, greeting both students and staff with a genuine smile that sets a positive tone in our school. Ernie is incredibly flexible and always willing to support wherever needed, working directly with students or assisting teachers in any way they request. He is highly dependable and has dedicated multiple years to regularly reading with Golden Spike students, making a meaningful and lasting impact on their learning and confidence. His willingness to step in wherever needed, even taking over crosswalk duty when a staff member was delayed, speaks volumes about his commitment and character. We are deeply grateful for Ernie's continued service and the care he shows to our school community. He is an invaluable part of Golden Spike, and we are truly fortunate to have him.
In there. Dr. Pepper. Accidentally dropped it, so it was all like, yeah, that's good.
Yes. Oh, that'd be good. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Test. 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 Is that coming through? I can't tell.
Spokesperson, you have to have most of your group here with you. I don't know. Joy, Superintendent.
Set group, just you.
All right, let's get started. Thank you so much. If you're within my voice, we are so grateful for the commitment and just outstanding work ethic of our employees. So appreciative. We're going to move on now, and I need an approval of this agenda.
I move we approve the agenda.
I second.
Okay, we have the motion by Brian Smith and a second by Danielle. Right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, let's get started with this agenda then. Thank you very much. We're going to start with our public comment, and I have a little statement to read. It feels like not very little, but here we go. Actually, let's see. There are two different public comments, so we're going to start with the general public comment. No one actually signed up for the K-5 math curriculum adoption. So there will be no public comment on that. So H does not need to happen. We'll just stick with G. The floor is open at this time for any resident of Box Elder County or staff members to address the Board of Education on items pertaining to education and or the operation of the school district. Participants will be given the opportunity to address the board in the order in which they have signed up. Patrons must state their name prior to making comments. Individual comments during this segment of the meeting are restricted to a maximum of 3 minutes. Group presentations are restricted to a maximum of 6. A majority of the group must be present at the time of public comment. Group members must be listed on the public comment sign-up sheet and the opening of the comment. Handouts may be used and distributed to board members. If handouts are distributed, all members of the board and district staff present should receive copies of all handouts. The board will not take final action or have discussion on items presented during public comments unless the item is already on the meeting agenda. If additional study is needed to respond adequately to the questions or comments, the residents may receive a written response. The written response may be read publicly at the next regular meeting of the board. Due to the rights of privacy of employees of the district, the Board of Education will not allow public comments on specific employee appointments, employment, or performance at this time. Questions and complaints or charges against a particular employee are to be referred to the superintendent for action consistent with law and or district policy. Ben Soholt.
Ben talked to Stephanie. He had to leave. She told him to probably be back by 7:30.
Hopefully, if Ben gets back before we're ready to move on, we'll get him in at the end. Our next participant is DJ Bott.
To apologize, Ms. Summers, I should have checked individual instead of group because I'm not the majority of the staff that I'm representing from Brigham City. Hey, I don't even think it's on. I can use my coach's voice. Keith has heard that on the field. Hey, I wanted to do this in a public meeting. It doesn't matter, there's not a lot of public here, but I want it on public record how much I appreciate, and my directors at Brigham City, I can speak for them, how much we appreciate our working relationship with Steve Carlson over the last 4 or 5 years. We've cultured a real good friendship together, speaking plainly with each other a lot of times. My favorite saying that I try my best to live by is do what is right and let the consequences follow. And I think Steve is a kindred spirit to that. And I appreciated being able to have that working relationship with him. In a consulting capacity, I want to again reiterate that I'm duly elected independently. You're duly elected independently. The county commission is duly elected independently and to act independent of each other. We can consult, we can advise, but we act independently of each other, and we honor that as well. At least Steve and I do. We've got some swag for him that we'd like to present to him tonight. There's a couple hats in here so when he's on the golf course, his follically challenged chrome dome won't be red. There's also a lap quilt so when he's watching Real Lives of Mormon Wives at home. He can stay warm. And a couple other things, but I really do appreciate him. The second part of my comment is for the board. You know, my favorite movie is 8 Seconds. And it's a good one because it's tough. And there's a character named Tough, if you remember. But my favorite part of the whole movie, Lane is down on his luck. He's in a bad place with his marriage. He's just got bucked off from a bull and stepped on where nobody should ever be stepped on. And he's in the tent whining, complaining, and feeling bad for himself. And Tough Hedeman looks at him and says, "Cowboy up." Sometimes when you do what's right, you have to cowboy up because you may be standing alone. I want to express my appreciation as the mayor of Brigham City for a lot of the board who has cowboyed up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Bott, and I'm not sure I'll be watching the TV. Right, but definitely BYU football games. We know he'll be watching those, so thank you. All right, the next citizen on the list is Sheena Hansen. We'll just put him at the end, yep. No, you're good. No, you're good.
My name is Sheena Hansen, and I am a resident here. Oh, sorry. Usually I'm pretty loud. That's okay. I understand that. I don't think I can hear that. My name is Sheena Hansen, and I live in Garland, Utah, and I'm also making this statement on behalf of my husband, Max Hansen, who's working out of state this week. And we, like all parents, have children and grandchildren here within this county, and we want them to receive a good education and have safe school facilities here. But we are against the course of action that you've consistently taken from the attempted passage of the GO bond, the attempt to implement a release revenue bond, and now this attempted end run around the school bond process. It is clear that we are not alone because 70% of the voters of Box Elder County voted against the GO bond. Those voters were not against providing quality education or safe environments. They wanted clarity, and they wanted you to better educate them on the project and to trim the cost. Some of those things have been done, but not the most important is the cost. You flippantly ignored a petition of over 8,000 valid signatures to take it to a ballot. I helped with that petition, and I can testify that those taxpayers that signed that petition knew exactly what they were doing. In fact, that many of them sought out the various locations that petition was going to be so they could sign it. The suggestion that they were misled is to imply that they weren't competent, and I reject the notion that they are. Those citizens are able to think for themselves. Instead of putting on the brakes and involving the public, you are now poised to enter into a lease purchase agreement with Bank of America for $55 million to build out 2 schools, build a school and renovate another one, and sublease those to the district. This is essentially smoke and mirrors to avoid the legalities of going into debt, and that is precisely what this is. We believe you ignored Utah Code Section 53G 4401, which provides that an elected member of a local school board serves and represents the residents of the local school board member's district, and that service and representation may not be restricted or impaired by the local school board member's membership on or the obligations to the local school board. Every one of you except board member Cronin has essentially broken that law. It requires you to serve and represent the residents of your voting districts and not the school administrators. Last of all, we have not seen any action to pursue any other funding avenues, public or private. When asked at the work session last week if any grants were available, one school administrator bluntly responded, "There aren't any any grants available." How do we know that? You deem it responsible to employ different consultants and people in that expertise to advise you. Why are we not contracting with a grant writer? Now we're faced with more challenges in our county due to the status project, and you have a golden opportunity to think outside the box. Are you collaborating with the county commissioners and their legal counsel for assistance in that regard? You need to trim some fat in the general budget and the project plan. The taxpayers are maxed out. Thank you, and I appreciate the chance to comment.
Sure, yes. If you want to just hand them down here, and we'll just pass them this direction. Thank you. All right, Mr. Soholt.
My name is Ben Soholt. I came here last month and I praised you for a job well done, and I thanked you for all that you had done. I'm here to flip sides again and let you know a couple of things. One, the online driver's ed registration was very, very confusing for a lot of people because there was not really a timeline given to them. My wife was still under the impression that she could go in because I guess one of the counselors told her that she could go in the day of in the morning and reserve a particular teacher, and she went in and they rejected her, and she was trying to understand, and she was just told to consistently go back to the email. Well, the email said that we were supposed to register right now, which was the day before the registration. So we need to have better communication there as far as being able to sign up for driver's ed. The other thing is, I just like with the last speaker, I wholeheartedly oppose the direction it looks like you're going to be taking with a higher interest rate on a loan that's going to last a long time. And I think it's It's true. It's going around the voters trying to get done what you want to get done right now instead of doing the right thing. The right thing to do is something that has been suggested. I will wholeheartedly support it and rally behind it. That is to lower the taxes back down, keep the teacher raise if you want, so keep that percentage that you need for that, but take down the rest of it and do a regular GO bond for just the 2 schools that you're looking at doing right now. That will pass. Okay, I will rally behind that. I will get people to vote for that if you bring back the taxes, and then we can vote on that general obligation bond. It is important that you listen to your constituents. And I get it, for the kids. I'm for the kids too, but I want to do it in a fiscally responsible way. This fiscally responsible way is to cut back the taxes and to allow the general obligation bond to go forward. Again, I will champion that for you. Please, please, please take that route. State legislators have suggested that. I know Karen has suggested that. That is the way the people want you to go. And I will, again, champion that for you. And you know the voice that I have. I will champion that for you. Please do that route instead. Thank you.
All right, thank you for taking the time to be here for public comment. We appreciate that. We're going to move on to the action items. Number 1, the approval of the 2026-2027 board meeting calendar. Superintendent.
Each year, by policy, we have to approve a calendar for the year. Our standard is the second Wednesday of every month, and we're able to follow that each year. There's been a few years where we've changed the October board meeting because of fall break, but this year it falls on the week earlier or the week later, I don't remember, of fall break. And so right now that calendar is such that we can stay consistent with the second Wednesday of every month. So with that, I'd like to recommend that we pass that calendar.
This motion would also include not just the school calendar, but the board meeting schedule. So, any questions?
A question, is this for school calendar or just the board calendar?
This is just the board.
Oh, I have the board meeting schedule on mine, on board book.
It's just the board meeting calendar.
Right.
So that's what I'm.
Okay. All right, sorry.
So
I
with-
was thinking it was both. Go ahead, Karen.
So with that, I will make a motion that we approve the school board and municipal building authority meeting schedule for the 26-27 school year.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor, say aye. 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 Any opposed? Okay, moving to number 2, approval of Sunrise 25-26 amended TSSA plan. Mr. Meekum.
Thank you. Mr. Rasmussen wasn't able to be here today due to being unable to hire a position that he's been trying all year to do. He ended up having to tweak some things to move some money around. He's still within the same budget, but how that was going to be spent needed to be adjusted to avoid a hole in a certain particular area. And so, as you can see, we're asking for approval of the amendment of this year's 25-26 TSSA plan for Sunrise.
I move that the Board of Education approve Sunrise High School's revision to their teacher and student success plan for the 2025-2026 school year.
Did you get that second, Neil? Okay, great. We have first a motion and a second. Any comments, any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that motion passes. Thank you. We now have the approval of school land trust plans presented by Keith Meekum and Heidi Jo West, our assistant superintendents.
Would you like to start? Okay. So this is our elementary and secondary 26-27 school land trust plans. The plan has been being worked on all year long with school community council members that were voted into this position. They've reviewed data, they've set goals, they've looked at priorities, which is our greatest academic need at the various schools. Generally, it's in the areas of math and science and language arts, reading. Secondary is specifically the high schools. It can be towards improving graduation rates. Anyway, all the plans have been approved by the school community councils, have been submitted, have been reviewed. We are seeking approval tonight from the school board of these plans, and then it will go to the School Land Trust Committee, czars, and they will review, and then as that is approved, then we can start preparing for next year.
So Heidi Jo, nothing to add to that? All right, perfect. All right, I need a motion.
Just a comment. I did review mine and didn't have any concerns. I did have a couple of questions. Because we got them fairly late, I wonder if next year if we could get them a little earlier so that we can ask some questions. Didn't have any concerns. One of the questions I had was for the review that I did, if I could remember which one, Park Valley maybe, one of the north schools. Very small amount, but they said they were going to hire a para. It didn't seem like the amount of money was sufficient to hire the para.
First, as far as the plan lateness, the state was revising their website, and then it got up, and then it got pulled down, and then it got put back up. So our timeline really got crunched for administrators too, and Keith and I gave them more of the time than we gave ourselves or the board, and we apologize for that. Yeah, Park Valley, because they have such a low student enrollment amount, they get a low amount allocated to them each year. So what they do is they take the money from this and combine it with their TSSA funds and some of the NEST funds that are available that the district provides to them, and they just try to put a para together through all of those funds.
Okay. And also, I wondered if we could get a report at the right timeliness you decide on how they did, throughout to meet their goals.
Yeah, we usually, the final reports are due, ironically, next, like February. And so, just like we did this last time, but it's an information item. If you would like us to maybe discuss that more, but it's been usually submitted as an information item in February or March. So, but we'll make sure that's more aware and available for your review, and then you can ask questions.
I read through several of them, and I am very encouraged by every year they just keep raising the bar, and just wanted to put that out there, how much we appreciate the teachers and the paras and everybody just continually trying to help our students learn at high levels.
Sure. Along with that, I totally agree, Karen, and I'm always impressed with our community councils because it's not easy to pull together a community council. It seems like increasingly our parents are just more and more busy, and it's hard to get that committee together. So I really appreciate those parents of students who are engaged in this process. It requires time, it requires a commitment and calendaring, and anyway, the whole process is, you're right, they seem to raise the bar every year, and they do such a good job. Anything else on the school land trust plans? Do we have a motion? I need a second? All right, Danielle Wright has the second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. We are going to move now to I-4, the approval of construction contract for Discovery Elementary. Mr. Stevens.
I'd invite Corey to come up here and talk to us about the building plans. I know that many of the board members were not part of the planning process, and so we'd like to present, the overall plan of the building footprint, changes we're going to make, and that's in your backup here. First, I think it's the third attachment for this. It says a Discovery Elementary edition here.
Yes, that's correct. Whoever's running the screen, if they can go to that third, yes. It is the third one, correct. And the school board may want to turn around, or you've got it on there. Okay, good. Okay, so the Discovery, we've discussed this a little bit in prior board meetings. When we acquired the Davis Park, that made it possible for us to have more property on the Discovery site. The Discovery site is approximately 6.5 acres-ish. By acquiring Davis Park and the small building lot on the east side, that put our acreage at just over 10 acres. In comparison, Golden Spike Elementary is 8.5 acres, and the property that we have in Tremont that could have an elementary on it is 11.74. So it does put it in a good size as far as acreage. The addition is there circled in purple. That would be 12 classrooms, and we have 2 portables there, so we'd have a net gain of 10 classrooms. 2 of those classrooms, one will be functional skills, and the other one will be a preschool. That will help alleviate some of the impact on Golden Spike Elementary. So it will I'll get into what it has in the later slides, but you can see there that we have the bus. The yellow arrow is the bus drive and additional parking, and on the left-hand side is the carpool and additional parking. This would pull the cars off of the street and put all of them on the campus. Any questions on this slide? Just how it's set up. Okay, if you can go to the next slide, please. So we are doing some remodeling in the existing building. So in the blue circle, it's kind of hard to see, but you see the main entrance. It's a dark line at the top.
Sorry.
That's okay. I took my Dramamine. You can do that all you want. You see the dark line at the top with the double doors. That creates a secure entrance. We have a secure vestibule right now, but it's a camera system and it's a tiny vestibule if you've been there. This will create a clear path that forces people to the office. We would still have a buzz-in system at the office door to create security there, but it just creates a better pathway into the office. And then at the bottom of the circle is a dark rectangle. That is the current workroom, because we would anticipate having a principal and assistant principal at this building. That workroom would become the conference room, and the conference room that's there would become an office for a second administrator. Then across the hall on the right hand, that small classroom would become the new workroom. It's bigger than the old workroom because we'll have more staff, and also an additional staff restroom. Right now for that entire building we have 2 staff restrooms plus the sick room, but that's really a struggle when we have this amount of staff members all trying to use 2 restrooms it's not enough. And so that would provide an additional restroom by the office, close to the current wing. If you can zoom back out, make sure I got everything in that blue rectangle, all my bullet points. Did I get all those? I think I did. Okay. So if you can.
This is weird. Hold on a second.
You can just go back to the board book and open it again if you want.
Yeah, I think I might have to. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, sorry, that was way back.
Yeah, sorry. We'll get back here. I shouldn't have been messing with the Zoom. It can cause issues.
So I think we'd be on the third slide that shows the new addition. One more down. So the new addition right there, that comes, so the bottom left of your screen, that's coming from the existing building. On the left-hand side of your, as you're walking through that hallway, you would have the functional skills and the preschool rooms. On the right-hand side, it would be an additional conference room and more itinerant offices for support staff. There are various needs that we have that would facilitate. There's also an additional staff restroom in that section. As you continue through that hallway, there is a ramp down. Because of the elevation change, it was a cost savings to do that ramp down rather than bring in a lot of fill to build the building at a higher elevation to match the existing building. And then as you keep going around the corner, we have the general population restrooms. There are, as I mentioned, 2 staff restrooms there. So this project would give us 6 staff restrooms, which would be a great improvement over what they have, a real benefit for the staff. And then we have 10 classrooms around a common area, which this building does not currently have a common area where we can do some support groups. And it would have 2 more itinerant offices there. That could be everything from counseling to speech language pathology. And then above that is the new gymnasium. The benefit of a gym separate from the gym and cafetorium at an elementary school is that we can run PE all day long. When we have a gym and cafetorium, which is what they have now, that PE is really restricted because of the lunchtime activities that's going to take at least an hour and a half out of the day. So it really provides that opportunity for that prep time for those kiddos to get some good PE time. And if you can scroll down to the last slide. This is the gymnasium. As the design team met, we determined that the gym should be large enough to hold the whole school as an assembly, and as a default, that came out as having a basketball court that is the same size as a high school regulation court. And so that would be lined out for basketball, volleyball, and it would have additional hoops on the sides so that we could have 6 hoops there and be a great advantage for the PE teacher. Okay, yes?
Is there a way to put pickleball lines on there? Is that gonna be?
That's okay. So she asked if it would be possible to put pickleball lines. We've talked about a lot of different court lines that we could put. Pickleball was one of those. It would be an easy thing to add on there later. The complication that we try to avoid is the minutia of lines in something like this. It does look small enough on the picture to be pickleball, but that is volleyball. Yeah, that is volleyball. I know that it's rumored out there. I don't know how close it is. Keith would know, but pickleball becoming a sanctioned UHSAA sport. So there will be one more activity that high school teams will be looking for a venue. Yeah, so something like that could be possible.
So size-wise, is that comparable to this room that we're in then?
This is not, so that size is 50 wide by, what's a high school court? 80? 84. So, yeah, I'm going to have to count this out. This is not as long as a basketball court. This is going to be smaller than a high school court, I believe. I haven't actually sized this out. Shaking the head, so, yeah. Yes, the gym next door would be, that's regulation, right, Keith? I haven't measured that one out.
So bigger than this room?
Larger than this room, correct.
Okay.
Questions on other slides? So there will be increased cost. There is an increased size to the building. This building is designed to be ICF, which is insulated concrete forms. It's the same process that we used at Sunrise High School. It's a very insulated, it's a very tight building that is very efficient on HVAC concerns. When we were doing this, I haven't heard the exact numbers, but when we were doing the design on this, ICF is a little bit more expensive initially, but because of that, there was a time we were contemplating, do we go back and redesign this for just typical CMU, the same block that this building's made out of. And at that time, we were quite a bit along in the design, and as the architects contemplated that and talked with the engineers, the mechanical engineer over HVAC said, okay, but I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board because I'm going to have to upsize the units because this CMU building is not as efficient as an ICF building. Now that doesn't take into account the existing building, that's CMU, cinder block. The other unknown here is that it was determined that we're going to put air conditioning in the new addition. How can we put air conditioning in the new addition and not condition the existing building? So that's going to be an increase that I don't know what the numbers are on that. It's kind of a balance because we're also creating an educational environment. We have to be fiscally responsible with utility bills, but we also need to make a good environmental space. And that's another thing to realize. When we put this addition on, we have to bring the rest of the building up to code also, which means we have to bring fire suppression into the remainder of the building. We only have sprinkler system in the stage area. It's not throughout the building, so we will need to do that as part of this. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a cost, but it's a good thing. It brings a higher safety. The gym floor, you mean the surfacing? So we're kind of playing with that. My preference would be a rubber floor. That's the same that we've done at Willard, McKinley, and Grouse Creek. It's just a very, what do I say? Durable. Yeah, it's durable. It's comfortable. It's easy to maintain. It's easy on the knees, and so but that's more expensive. And so taking cost into effect, the architects are looking at, they call it a pour in place, but then it has a durable surface on top. So that's kind of out there in the works. We did not consider hardwood floor because of cost, and we don't have any hardwood floors in any other elementaries. Hardwood floor has its advantages, so does rubber floor, so does some other floors. So it's just what you want to balance out. Some people would say every gym floor is supposed to be hardwood, but for the purpose that an elementary school uses it, compared with the maintenance that a hardwood floor takes to keep it looking nice, it's considerable.
So you said that probably have about 12 new classrooms.
Correct.
2 of those would be taken out with the portables, right?
Correct.
Discovery.
Right, the net gain.
And then the 2 for functional skills and preschool.
Right.
So we have 8 classrooms that we could move students from Lakeview up there, I think is the plan.
So where those students come from to go into this addition is up to the school board. That's going to be something you determine as far as boundary realignments, but as far as student enrollment.
My next question was, so we're basically at about 25 students per classroom, just a rough estimate. We'll be able to take about 200 more students there. It's kind of where I was getting to.
Right. That's the estimate, yes.
About 200 more students to help take some pressure off other elementaries.
Right. And size-wise, this building with the addition would be larger than Garland and 3 Mile Creek. It currently has 22 classrooms, general classrooms, and so this would put it at 34 general classrooms, which puts it in line with all of our other elementary schools as far as size.
Number of students would be?
650. Any other questions from my end? Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Do you
Corey.
want me to mute this? Mike, Robert?
Thanks, Corey. Neil, did you have anything to add to that then? Or
I did not. What we next need to consider is, so attached to the agenda is the breakdown of the cost of this building. So information-wise, we met with our general contractor, Hughes Construction. They performed the RFPs to get solicitations and bids for every trade, every part of this building, put them together. We attended the bid opening. Corey was virtually there. I was there in person at their building. Opened all the bids in person, reviewed who submitted what. They did a bid tabulation that's present there in the documentation of what was bid, whether it met all the requirements. We had several addendums, specifications they had to meet, and we came up with the grand total listed on page 1 of the cost proposal. So it'll be, I want to say, about $15.6 million. That includes their fee for managing this project. That includes contingencies. And also includes several areas where there's potential for not change orders, but the scope of work wasn't detailed enough to make a complete determination that the bids were sufficient. So we added some additional contingencies there in case there's some changes in materials used or specifications. Given all that, that's what we're at. We're about $15.6 million. I want to say about $2 million of that is related to air conditioning, and probably $400,000 is related to fire sprinklers. The rest is the addition that you see here. One thing to call out here, not included in this $15.6 million, is the cost of playgrounds. We have not designed those yet. So we need to work with the elementary staff and our assistant superintendent, Heidi Jo West, to determine the needs for those playgrounds. And then at that time, those will be added at a later date to the cost. We'll probably have 3 playgrounds, 2 regular playgrounds, and 1 ADA playground that will be placed at Davis Park. So are there any questions on the cost proposal or the bids, the process we went through? Okay. I think it turn over to the board.
All right, so I need a motion.
I move that we approve the Discovery Elementary final GMP. Is there a better word for that? Construction contract? For the expansion of Discovery Elementary in the amount of $15,567,895 with Hughes General Contractors.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion to the motion?
Yeah, I've got some thoughts. In representing constituents and taxpayers across the district regarding the crowding at elementary schools in the Tremonton area and at Lakeview, there seems to be strong support for action. While lower cost options on the south end of the district, like opening Foothill for a couple years until Lakeview could be rebuilt, seems to be preferred by taxpayers, it is recognized that building onto Discovery Elementary for approximately $15.6 million might be an alternate, albeit expensive, solution to provide relief. However, I speak for many taxpayers across the district who are firmly opposed to bypassing public input through a real property lease to finance this. As was pointed out to me in the financial implications portion of the information provided from Neil, the business administrator, for this action, it states that the loan payments will be made from existing funds. The person went on to say that this seems kind of like a contradiction in terms, because if there are existing funds in the capital outlay fund, why would the school district need to obtain a loan? We know that the only way that a $4.4 million estimated annual lease payments for this project, in combination with the Tremonton Elementary project, for a combined total of about $55 million, can only be made from a continuation of the 37% tax increase increment funding for the next 20 years. If this finance option is used, it will obligate the taxpayers for up to the next 20 years to pay for something the school district went around them to finance. This will most likely cause increased distrust and frustration with taxpayers during those 20 years, and it will be very hard to get their trust and vote to finance any other major capital projects for years to come. I strongly, again, advocate for and urge the board members to reconsider over the next few weeks the option to roll back the existing tax increase, with the exception of what is needed for the employee salary enhancement, and let the community know we acknowledge their concerns, and let the taxpayers vote on a GO bond for this project with a lower overall amount of impact to their family finances. This community values education, and there is strong support for an elementary school. Working to build trust now allows for better and more comprehensive capital funding solutions in the future. Tonight, I will vote to approve the construction contract for Discovery Elementary to get relief for some of our other elementaries, mainly Lakeview. But my vote is based on the expectation that we secure financing through a public voted financing mechanism or use existing unencumbered capital funds, and do not use a finance method that bypasses the taxpayers.
Any other comments or questions on the motion?
Yeah, I would like to make a comment. I'd like to address the discussion about going around taxpayers and trust. I've spoken with many constituents in our community. When the bond was opposed, we went back to the community. We held community meetings. We sent out surveys to understand what the community wanted. I know there are those that oppose, but my sense from surveys and community meetings that we've held is that the majority of our community supports what we're doing. So I disagree with the trust issue, that there's a lack of trust or that we're breaking any laws. That's not true. And I agree with the direction they're going. It's very much needed in the district. We have a lot of portables. We have a lot of overcrowding. And to go back for a bond, or I think, Neil, maybe you could address Karen's comment on funding. My understanding is that the funding is not more expensive the way that we're funding this. And I think the community is fully behind what we're doing here. So those are my comments. Maybe, Neil, you could address some of the funding questions that Karen has brought up.
Steal this mic because I don't think we're going to get up there for a minute. The funding issue is we have about $28 million in our capital fund right now. 28. To be able to build West Tremont, we have to have a borrowing mechanism of some sort. We don't have money to do that. If we were to take the cost of this build, $15 million, we would deplete half of our capital fund. We would have not enough funds to do other projects as air conditioning, sewer investigations, yearly maintenance. It would severely diminish our ability to undertake other projects. Also, in this part of this capital fund, we buy vehicles for district operations. We would buy school buses. We do emergency repairs. We have other building projects going on throughout the district, maintenance, capital maintenance projects every year. It would severely limit our flexibility to undertake these projects if we were to try and pay for all of Discovery out of existing cash flow. So my statement is that we're using existing funds is based on the current tax rates. Until there's a vote of the board to reduce the tax rate, my budgeting is based on the current tax rates. So that's where the existing funding comes from right now, is from our current tax rates.
And Neil, this is not approving the financing. This is just approving the contract for the contractor.
That's right.
Correct?
Approving the contract. Should financing not be approved in a future board meeting, then we would be back to the drawing board on our capital plan of how we would pay for this to begin construction going forward.
I'm just going to follow up what Brian said, that I represent constituents as well, and I have had a lot of them reach out to me, and I have talked to many, and they support this and support the board's decision to not continue wasting money on portables and continue to the tune of millions of dollars over the last few years. And opening Foothill could cost $5 million. That's a third of the amount of this building that will be permanent for 40 to 60 years. And I feel like that is a much more responsible use of taxpayer money than a temporary solution of $5 million to reopen Foothill. I am not willing to waste more time and more students' education to wait for 2 more years when I've had many people tell me that something has to happen now and that they approve of the board changing the plans just to elementary schools and lowering it from $140 million to $55 million. Sorry, losing my voice.
I just wanted to acknowledge that I know that the vote tonight is just for the contract. It's not for the funding mechanism. That's why but they kind of go hand in hand. That's why I talked to both of them.
I also have talked to several people who have signed the petition, and they fully support in what we want to be able to do to move forward, because it's an opportunity to go quicker. The longer we wait, I mean, even this elementary school, even in the Tremont end, I know that, Even 3 years ago, it was cheaper to build than it is this year. The longer we wait, the more it costs the taxpayers. I feel like also with our Lakeview and even North Park, they're so overcrowded that I know that the portables relieve a lot of that, but it doesn't help with the restrooms and being able to be responsible to the building. I feel like it's very not responsible. Is unresponsible a word? It's not responsible to keep, irresponsible, thank you, to keep those numbers consistently using the facility. I know when I go to, especially North Park, their lunchrooms are so crowded and packed. It's just, it's really hard for it to stay. I mean, when people are so cramped in the space, it gets really chaotic, and I know it's hard for these elementary schools to keep behaviors, you know, within the lunchroom even. I feel like we're doing a good thing by relieving those things so that our buildings can have a longer lifespan, so we aren't replacing them. I also want to say that I feel like I am listening, and I listen to the loud voices, but I also listen to the quiet voices that come in just a nice, no, that's not what I meant, but just that they're just there as well, that they support a lot of the things that we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's everything I want to say. Thanks.
Just real quickly, I think board members, we would make a mistake to think that there aren't two sides to this story or two sides to this argument. And I appreciate public who are willing to stand up here and show us one side. I appreciate those who really intently listen to both sides. The problems in our communities, in our country, you might say right now, are because of people unwilling to listen to both sides and to learn from both sides. I feel that this Board of Education, all 7 members, we're missing 2 tonight, listen diligently and study diligently on both sides of this issue. And so I just hope moving forward, as votes continue to happen in the next forever, however long, right, that we remember that this Board of Education does listen to both sides, studies things out, contemplates, takes everything very seriously, and we're also hearing from another side who often isn't at public comment. Sometimes it is. Sometimes that side has shown up, and it is more quiet, but they reach out to us as well. And so there are 2 sides to this. Anyway. So thank you for all the comments that happened tonight. We have a motion and a second on this. We are on I-4, just to bring us back to what we're voting on, right? Are there any other comments or questions on this?
I appreciate your comment about 2 sides, and we've talked a couple of times about, you know, people that talk to us, and we don't know what that is. I think the only way to get the true number of where the majority stand would be to take it out for a vote.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. That motion passes. Yes.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say something, and I've got to back up in the agenda, and I apologize for not doing this when the time was correct. In the public comment section for the math curriculum, that it's been in code now that we have to have 2 public comment for our math curriculum and our language arts curriculum. Is that correct, Mrs. West? We have to have, so next month we'll have to have this adoption again. Just to let you know of the complexity of this, Mrs. West, she'd have to say exactly, but I think She had a group of representatives from throughout the school district, representing every grade level, K-5, and they met at length, talked about how they were going to go about it. Then they had vendors bring in the curriculum and spent at least one full day, was it just one? And had the vendors present it. They discussed it, and it's really a large deal. And so I just wanted to point out that we used, in the past, school districts have not had to have public comment on curriculum like this, but this is a new legislative action in the last couple of years, and just wanted to make sure the board is aware of that, and we'll have this on the agenda next month in case anybody wants to come and talk about the curriculum. Mrs. West, what vendor? Were parents on the committee? Was it
Yeah,
teacher?
we did have 2 parents that came and reviewed the materials, and the majority of their role is to make sure that it's not objective or offensive to parents. You know, with math, it's pretty risky. So, but yeah, we had a huge majority of the teachers. We have a grade level representative from every grade level in every elementary school, and the majority of them participated. I think we had like 50-ish people final votes, and Reveal Math from McGraw-Hill was the winner in every grade level at every school and overall. It was about a 70% support for that program being the first choice, and then a smattering of the other programs, but there was a pretty big margin of win there that makes us confident that the majority of our teachers feel really good about that adoption. It's been an interesting adoption to do right now while we have this law that's passing next year that says that instructional materials will not be online or independent of the teacher starting July 1st of 2027. So as Jamie, Kent, and I kind of navigate the contracts and what materials you purchase and provide at this time, it's really tricky to say, oh, well, we're not going to do those online materials that would have saved us quite a bit of money in the past to have them online because of the new law that says that that's not possible to just put a student on the computer and allow computer adaptive technology to respond to the intervention needs that they have. So we're kind of in an interesting era to be doing a curriculum adoption, but we're really excited about the enthusiasm that the teachers have shown for it.
I was just wondering how much the same, how different is it from the current curriculum? I'm going to get myself in trouble here by saying many of the main front runners in publishing run their programs pretty similarly, and that's how they end up getting approved for national and state recommended instructional materials lists. So there are enough similarities, I feel like, that our teachers will not be overwhelmed by the differences. However, one of the things that's considered is this year we're using the national product, and they are releasing a Utah-specific product next year that will be just a little bit different. But the publishers assured us today when we met with them that that won't be such a significant change to the teachers, that they will feel like they've gone through a complete disruption again. One of the things that's very different here is that the program offers intervention materials that align with the instructional materials. So we're purchasing that all at one time to align our interventionist materials for our coaches, for small group instruction, as well as for our special education department. And we're really excited to have that alignment because that's not been something we've been able to do in the past.
You said it has to be not online but independent of the teacher. Is that what you just said? How is that? What does that mean?
So, you know what, we could probably do a little bit of a introduction to that state bill in the future, but by July 1st of 2027, teachers in the K-3 grades are having the ability to just put a student on a device and have the device instruct them be removed. However, a teacher, from what we understand from the bill right now, they haven't created the model policy completely in its entirety, but they've revealed some of the things that we would have to put in our own policy if we went away from the state model policy. Some of the things that are included is just the teacher can show online materials, but it has to be the teacher that's guiding that rather than the student that's responding individually. So we can use online materials to prepare for state assessments and in upper grades, but we have to be really cautious about K-3. So in response to that, we've been trying to prepare as a district. We've increased our copy budgets for schools. We're trying to provide teachers with the manipulatives that come with this program rather than using online manipulatives. It's just one of those things that is like an unfunded change, but kind of comes with these unintended consequences that we need to be really prepared for.
Thank you, Mrs. West. As Mrs. West was talking, she mentioned the collaboration with Mrs. Jamie Kent, and the reason for that is not because she's the public information officer, but because one of Mrs. Kent's hats is our math specialist, and she attends all the state math meetings and our Northern Utah Curriculum Consortium math meeting. And that's just one of her many hats, and I just wanted to clarify why she was talking to her, not as the PIO, but the math specialist.
Thank you. I'm glad you clarified that. We know that Mrs. Kent, Jamie, does more than one thing. She does many, many things in this district. Okay, so any other questions for J1, the review of, Yes. We are moved, that was clear back in the agenda, wasn't it? Our math adoption. Now we are on J1, the review of positive behavior plans, and Megan Bushnell, our student services director, is going to present these to us.
Okay, so in the past we've had this as a action item, but we found out this is just an information item. The positive behavior plans, you've probably noticed they've been tweaked over the years, and we're still continuing to tweak them. But it's really, I asked them to do 3 goals this year, one on behavior, one on attendance, and one surrounding like substance use, because that's part of the comprehensive prevention plans. I also asked the schools to attach a suicide prevention plan. And next year, like I said, we'll get even better, but it's really interesting to see how many met the goals and then to see which ones we're still struggling at. But I do feel like overall, a lot of our schools have made such great efforts to try to improve on those things. In particular, attendance has been a big thing that we've been trying to push. And as of right now, our attendance, our chronic absenteeism is down, which is, we want that to be lower. And we were part of an attendance cohort as a district, and so I think just trying to focus on those things that we can control within attendance is probably one of the biggest things. And then really this coming year, working with Ben in secondary with the counselors to try to make sure our suicide prevention plans and I'm calling them CPPs, the comprehensive prevention plans, are more effective and have really good SMART goals.
Thank you, Megan. Any questions for her about these plans? Thank you for providing them for us so that we can look over them. Thank you. All right, J2, our book battle presentation. We're so excited. Stephanie. You can just stay here.
Okay, well, Ashley, she's my helper, so if I pass out, she'll come and save the day. Okay, if you want to push on my thing, because I did this, so we can all look at it. Okay, so this year we were able to hold the first book battle blitz for Box Elder County, or Box Elder School District. And we had Garland Elementary and Alice C. Harris Intermediate as our pilot schools. In Garland, we had about 32 students, and in Alice C. Harris, about 39. We had, anyway, it doesn't matter. So about 71 students total between the two schools. Last year, our book lists included these. There was 8 in the elementary, and then next year, we moved it to 12 because when this is actually, it is a national program, but because I'm frugal, I made my own. So we had to read these books and then come up with our own questions. And when you're coming up with questions from 8 books, it's really hard to come up with enough questions. So moving to 12 books, it makes it a lot easier for me to get enough questions to make the battle where we aren't repeating the same questions over and over throughout the year. You can see that there's the dark titles and the light titles. If you scroll down again, I should have been better at doing this game, but you can see that they are the light titles. Now go up again, are the same in both the intermediate and the elementary. Will you scroll up just halfway? Just halfway. Scroll up. There we are, right there. So you see that they're the same. I did that so that in the elementary school and in the intermediate school, families can be reading the same books together, so that we're creating an opportunity for families to have a bonding experience while reading books, because we love literature. So this year, again, we have 6 books, though, that will overlap. I have reached out to the libraries in the community and the bookmobiles, and they are going to try to get as many of the books as they can so that throughout the summer that they can read these books. All of the elementary schools in our district have committed to participating, along with the Bear River side of Alice C. Harris and the middle school. So if there are parents that feel like they would like to be more involved with this, we just invite you to reach out. And actually, I think that's on another slide. I'll not reach out. I'll not tell you that yet. Okay. So the objective really is to have a competition in academics. I know there's a lot of sports in our area, and we were just hoping to encourage more academic, more reading, challenging kids. I know that right now graphic novels are the favorite of all students in elementary anyway, and so it was fun to bring in different book titles that are longer to get them to enjoy different type of books. And so with the competition, we had, oh, honey, you're going too fast. Go up. That's okay. Okay, so with the competition, a way to encourage working as a team, because the students are in team form, and then so that they can get a sense, like with the 8 books, you could have like 4 kids in the team, and then each one of them would maybe read 2 books throughout the year, and then they can work as a team to answer the questions. It does expand their reading, because again, they would read books that they weren't necessarily normally reading. And then the critical thinking is like when they read the book and they wanted to pass it, like they wanted to come in and get a little prize for reading that book, they would have to tell us about the book, and therefore it makes them think about it and process it into a critical way of being able to let us know that they read the book. Okay, now scroll down. Thank you. This is our timeline. In September, they would sign up in teams. In October through February, we had practice sessions. Once a month, they meet and run through practice questions. And working with different schools, they're able to do more or less of that. But if they're able to meet more often, then they're able to do like a book club idea, that they can meet and talk about the books and having more of a discussion, which is really fun with book clubs. And then the book battle would most likely be within March. And in Alice C. Harris, we did a double elimination round, and in Garland, we just did 3 rounds, and then we just added up points, and the top 2 battled against each other. Now, if you scroll down one more time, can you click on that and see if it'll let us watch that? So this is the Alice C. Harris.
Use state names while going to school.
So they ask the question. The students have to write down the title of the book and the author, and they get 2 points for the title and 1 point for the author. And it's not a race, but they have to write down their answers on these whiteboards, and then they talk about it, and then they reveal. So you have, if they get it or they don't, then they get the points, and then it goes on. If you'll just skip to the very end, because it can keep going. More right about there. Okay. So then, hopefully. Oh, here it is. Ah! Yay! You You guys, it was just so much fun, and it was so fun to see these kids get so excited about the books that they're reading. It was energetic, and it was so fun, and it's hard to bring that energy. This is the bracket that we used. It was great. I totally messed up the bracket, and let's say that my stress levels rose so high, but I lived. Anyway, it was really fun. It was really great. Okay, go down or up, whichever direction that is. So yeah, these are the schools participating. And again, if you reach out to your school, if you have students in this school or on the box other end, in the middle, or the LSE, this one, the intermediate or the middle, there's still time to sign up. So let your schools know. The problem is that they don't want more work to be done. Like, it does take effort. So if we have parents that are willing to help and run it, then they're willing to do it. Hence, I have a student in intermediate and in the middle school, hence they have parent volunteer help, and that's why they're doing it, because I made them. Okay, so keep going up.
Sorry.
That's okay. Wake up. I'm not that boring. So again, you can reach out. Also, if you feel like you really love this program, you can donate books that are on the list to your elementary or to your libraries. Donate your time to help, and you can also reach out to me if you want to be part of this whole thing. Okay, go one more. Thank you. And Ashley, she's been such a powerful help in this. And then Melanie Francis and Libby Christensen were my librarians that helped. Do you want to add anything? I talk too much. Thank you.
Well done. I am excited for you because I know this is something you so wanted to tackle, and I'm so impressed. I don't know. As a board, I'm sure we all just, well done. We're going to move on to J3, unless somebody has any questions for Stephanie. All right. Yes, Karen, do you?
No questions. I never know if it's on or off. No questions, but it sounds really fun, and just thank you for all your hard work.
All right, let's go ahead and move to J3, our monthly financial report from our business administrator, Neil Stevens.
Sit back down. I don't have my eyeglasses on today, and I can't see that screen. It looks like a bunch of black and white, but I'm not sure what it says. So we're kind of in the doldrums of the financial year, is where we're finished up with school in a few weeks here, and we have a few months left in the fiscal year to complete all of our work. We're on track. If you look, let's see what line we're on here. Line 15, the revenue. You see we're about $4 million up on last year in revenue, which is where we expect to be. Overall, there's about $15 million left in state and federal revenue support to come in still into our operation fund. So that would put us right about $140,000, $1 million rather, for revenue this year. We still have 2 months left of property tax receipts to receive. Personal property taxes come in the months of May and June, and I believe we have right around $6.5 million still going to come in. So our revenue versus our expenditures, we're in a good spot. There's no real, we're on track for everything we projected. There's no surprises in our budget. There's no upcoming expenses that are not already accounted for. So I would entertain any questions the board has about our financial statements or our financing position. If not, that's my update for this month.
Neil, I don't have a question about that, but I know you're in lockstep with a lot of the events that have been going on the last few weeks. I assume that you're staying in contact with the county commissioners, and as you know, as things move forward, that you're working with them, understanding the impacts to our school district, and at some point, I don't know what the right timing is, but I'd like to have you report on what you're learning as you continue to work with them on what's happening.
Absolutely. I haven't met with them personally, but I've been part of the meetings with MIDA, the public meetings, and I followed the events, and a lot of the documentation made public via MIDA, the agreements I have, I reviewed them. I provided the board an update via email a while back about that. Essentially, in the future, when this does go forward, when it is approved, if there is a referendum, if that process plays out, we will need to sit down with the county commissioners and negotiate an interlocal agreement of sharing of tax revenue. It won't be property tax revenue, it will be energy tax revenue. And my impression is the county will do that with every tax entity in the county. They have a share of that revenue going forward, but it's still very preliminary to see what that will look like.
Yeah, I understand. I wrote the governor, expressed some concerns that I have with the taxing issue, and he did respond, not to me personally, but sends out to anyone that emails him, and he says he's committed to ensure that we have a net positive from those things that are happening. But as a board, I think it would be good for you just to keep us in the loop on what you're learning as that progresses.
Definitely. I'll be attending the next MIDA meeting on the 19th of May at the state capitol, and I'll any information I have, I'll bring back to the board and report back.
So just in case I don't want to forget, I think it would be great if you would just, for our next board meeting, let's get that on the agenda, just to report from what you learned. It's good for, I appreciate the emails, and I appreciate that information. It's also really good for in a public meeting for anyone of the public who might be interested in how this plays out.
I can prepare a presentation for next time.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. Any other questions for Neil from the board? Okay. We're going to move on to our board committee reports, and since I'm holding the mic right now, I want to just say and Megan is here. Did she leave? Oh, she left. Darn it, she was here just a minute ago. But our multicultural celebration that we had at Box Elder Middle School a couple of weeks ago was just way beyond what I had expected it to be. It was so much fun, and I was so impressed with our kids that came from our Chinese dual immersion, our Spanish dual immersion, our Latinos in Action groups. It was amazing, and I would encourage that it just gets bigger. From what I've heard, it's big. It was bigger this year than it was the year before, and plans to get bigger next year. And I would just encourage all of board members to attend that next year. I was so impressed, and Megan worked so hard, and her committee. I wish I had all their names, but I appreciate her committee for working so hard on that. Any other board committee reports?
So we've got the Boys and Girls Club dinner and auction will be coming up on June 12th. I've talked to Janelle. She's asked if I would coordinate anybody from the district that wants to go, and then I can let her know that, and she can make arrangements to have a table for that many. And I also wanted to report that the Boys and Girls Club have been contacted again this year by Feed America, which is a group that comes and helps to donate a lot of food products and works with the different people in our county to get food products. And they usually don't go to the same place more than like every 5 years. But they felt like that the need here was great last year, and it was the people that came and received that were very humble and appreciative. And so this is the first time that they're actually going to the same place twice within a 5-year period. So that's happening on May 21st there. And then I wanted to report out that Bridgerland will be having its graduation on June 12th. And this year, that takes in the students they graduated in December, and then the students that they will graduate on June 12th. They will have graduated over 80 of Box Elder School District students through their program. So appreciate them and appreciate the good work that our schools are doing in helping the students to get that opportunity.
That's awesome. Those 80 students of ours that benefit so much from Bridgerland, and Mr. Wiley, thank you for doing the work you do to keep that going for us, right? That teamwork. Any other board committee reports? All right. Michaela, it's your turn for a student board member report. We'll let you go first, and then we have a little something for you, okay?
There's not really much going on because graduation's in like a week and a half. But, yeah. But I know all of like the AP tests are coming up, so we're just all kind of studying, and finals and grades are going in. Today was Box Elder's scholarship night. They just like acknowledged everyone's scholarships that they'd gotten, and then handed out cords for completed pathways. Bear River had that during an assembly during school a couple days ago. And then, you guys already know, but Box Elder's graduation is the 26th, and Bear River's is the 27th. And then Bear River's having like a fun motorcade thing for all of the seniors. It's like a parade that they drive around in all of their cars, and they just get recognized. It sounds really fun, but yeah, it's like there's not much going on right now. So.
Thanks, Michaela, and we so appreciate you keeping us in touch with our high schools and what's going on. And you're an impressive and outstanding young woman, and we have all been we appreciate you and have been really, I think, impressed with the way you've reported to us each month, the way that you've kept tabs on what's going on in our high schools on both ends, which isn't an easy task for someone who's really busy and so engaged at Box Elder High School. So thank you for keeping in touch with Bear River High School as well. You're going to do great things. We know you are. You're headed the right direction, and can we just give her a round of applause? Tonight, before you leave, make sure you get your name tab from the front of the desk. You just take that nameplate out of the stand and take that with you. We have a gift certificate and your own plaque. Do you want to? Why don't you go ahead and take it down to her? Is that all right? We also have this ribbon lei for graduation. That's if you wear it that night, that's totally up to you. No pressure on that. Board, can we gather in and get a picture with Michaela?
Michaela, I think if you recall, you received a letter from Easton Johnson when you first started, and he was our former student board member. So if you would please, would you prepare that letter and give that to my secretary, Marcy, and that'll be sitting there ready when we start probably with somebody in September. And I'm not sure, I don't know if I've ever read that letter, but whatever Easton said, just tell them about your experience and prepare them for what they're about to do. And then also, would you please contact Marcy, and the iPad will be transferred on to the next student. So, and thank you. You get to know a student during the year, and it's always a ton of fun to get to know you and watch you actually grow in your position during the year. And I think you're more confident now as you talk in front of folks, and so it's fun to watch that. And we look forward. I love to hear about our former board members, student board members, and what they do. And swing by once in a while and say hi to folks. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, if you all just noticed the April employee appreciation names and from the schools they're from, and we will move on to K, item K, our policy review. So we need a motion on that.
I have a question on K1B, which as I read it, it's not the same as we talked about last week. And my question is that we've talked a lot about the fact that when we go into closed session, we can't take a vote, so we can't approve a recommended candidate. It was my memory from last week. We said that they would make us aware of who they were putting out, but we couldn't approve anything in a closed session.
It is 3,300, and I guess I don't see where you're saying, because you're right, we went over that and fixed it so that it didn't say that.
So I'm
all
on,
the red part is on.
I'm
so
on
you're
page 3 of 4.
Yes, I'm there. Okay. I'm
And
there
it's
with
not.
you.
I went back and looked at from last week what we talked about, and it's not the same. But it also has in there that be contingent upon the formal approval by the board during a closed work session.
That is not the right copy that we went over in our work session, so we'll have to put the other one. Thank you. I didn't know that was the one on the board thing. Yeah, so we'll bring it next month. Okay.
I didn't look at what one was on the policy review because we'd gone over it so carefully prior. So, Karen, I'm so glad you caught that.
So with that, I would make a motion that we approve on first reading the orderly school termination for employees, and then the second reading policies, and then table the policy on administrative personnel section.
Neil, so the first is Karen Cronin, the motion, and the second is Stephanie DePhillips. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. All right, we are moving to L, board discussion items. The review of the tentative fiscal year 27 budget.
So I prepared a document here that lists where we're at compared to last year for budgets from the state. I'll start off by noting that the local tax revenue that we expect to receive, it works on a revenue basis where we're guaranteed the same revenues as the prior year, and then the rate is adjusted consistent with the valuations of property, both essentially assessed personal property and real property from the county. So the county assessor has that responsibility to assess the property value. County auditor has responsibility to determine the rate to ensure we receive the same revenues before. That information is not available to us until June 8th. So it's difficult to make an estimate of where our revenue will be as an increase for growth until that time. And so what is presented here today is just based on the increase that we know of the state revenue here. So our biggest pot of money that we use in operations comes from the kindergarten through 12th grade line item. That line item is estimated to grow by $1.2 million. This is an interesting line item because it has a combination of state and local tax dollars. So how this works is that the legislature sets the basic rate every year, and they don't set a rate, they set a revenue target. And based on the number of students we have an amount we're required to raise or tax locally in order to receive the state support. If we don't meet the minimum requirements of the basic rate, we don't receive the state dollars. There's only one school district in the state of Utah that does not receive state dollars, and that is Park City, because Park City has an excess. They actually have to send money to the state board every year as part of their funding agreement because they have so much excess tax dollars. So as you can see here, grades K-12 has a $1.2 million potential increase. Now I say potential because every year they evaluate this, and every year we have a change at this time of year because they go to the county auditor and say, how much funds did you give Box Elder School District? And then they break it down according to our rates between our board, our voted, and our local dollars, GEO bond, capital, charter school dollars as well. Those are the ones we don't see. And then they figure out how much of that is proportionate to the basic levy. And they adjust that up or down each year, usually down, because usually their estimates are lower than we actually receive. So we're banking on a $1.2 million increase. It will probably be slightly less. That's the biggest change in our total revenue that we can use in operations. A lot of the other parts of these revenue estimates are restricted in nature. So they, for example, special ed or CTE or at-risk funding, it has a very specific funding use, and we can't use it to fund all teachers or all positions or all salaries or supplies in different areas. So as we go through here, and I don't know if the board's had time to look through these different amounts here, but if we scroll down to the very bottom here, it shows the increase that we're expected to see. We're about $5.4 million on the voted and board levy there. Our total increase is about, we're going to be about $105 million this year. We're going to increase about $5 million overall. That's what we're looking at for state support increase. Very meager this year from the state legislature. They did a lot of realignments and programs. We lost money in digital teaching and learning. We lost funds for our K-3 literacy licenses. We also lost some CTE funds based on estimates for enrollments. So as far as program losses, we're losing $625,000 in funding this year that we need to use local dollars to replace. Do we have any questions about specific line items in this state estimate displayed here? About $625,000. The red is the reduction. So we're estimating the voted is going to be reduced by $891,000 from the prior year. And these are all estimates. The voted and board state support calculations are very complex. They take into account estimates on total county valuations, estimates of how much you receive based on your tax rates. Does not take into account any growth here. And so this usually there's two revisions, one mid-year, one end of year. We had one this year as well. We were estimated to receive about $7.9 million beginning of the year. It was revised down to $5.8 million at the mid-year, and then revised back up when they had the final actual revenue dollars for calculation back up to 6.7. So it kind of goes ups and flows. For budgeting purposes, I like to budget about 80% of what they estimate to allow for those ebbs and flows.
Any questions for Neil? All right, thank you.
I prepared another document. It wasn't ready for board, and I have it. It's in your emails if you would like to go to that. And I'm wondering.
Do you want to speak to it now? Yes.
So it's in everybody's email. I don't know if you can see that. I'm thinking about, I'm going to borrow Keith's cord here and display my computer.
It's the fiscal year 27 estimated operational budget?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. So these are estimates we have here. I'm going to zoom in and see if this is helpful. So our local revenue, we're estimating it, and I have some growth numbers on our essentially assessed numbers because the State Tax Commission assesses essentially assessed dollars. So that's basically any assets that cross across county lines or tax and district lines. So I think railroads, not telecommunications, they took that a few years ago. Mostly railroads, pipelines, other large assets that may be on the border of county lines or are part of statewide projects, they assess those. And so I know we have about $600,000 in growth on the locally assessed. I won't know the amount on the real or personal property until in June. So we have about $600,000 in growth from the prior year in local revenue. State revenue is about $104,000. We'll end this year about $101,000. So there's about a $3 million increase there. We always get more in the end because there's state grants and state programs that we can apply for and get funding for, but we don't know what those amounts are going to be at this point. Then we go into our federal revenue. That's our Title I revenue, Title II revenue, special ed, IDA, preschool and school age revenue, and Medicaid revenue as well, and Perkins. So we're looking at about $6 million in federal revenue as well. So our total estimated revenue should be right about $150,000. Sorry, $1 million. Thank you. If we get into our salaries here, estimating total salaries to be right around $91 million. That's for all different, everyone who works in the district, teachers, mechanics, school lunch, our paraprofessionals, our coaches. Most of our coaches are not paid on a salary schedule. They're paid on a stipend for their work, a flat rate. So taking into account all those things, I'm estimating about $91 million. Our benefits, which include payroll taxes, include our contribution to URS, includes the 401k matching at 1.5%. We're estimating about $24 million. And then in these other areas, we have a little bit of growth built in for inflation for the remaining areas. So we're looking at about $8 million in supplies. And that supplies is, actually, that's labeled wrong. The first supply should say professional services. So these are consultants, trainers that come in and do training for us. They may provide safety training. They may provide various different consulting services. This is where this comes from. That includes things like we have software agreements. That goes in here. Panorama is one of those things that gets paid here out of here. Then purchase services, which are more detailed, more technical in nature, about $900,000. Technical services, such as utilities, those things of that nature, about $2.2 million. Supply budget, which includes a lot of things, including computers. Computers are considered to be a supply because of the cost, low cost of them. We're estimating about $15.6 million in supplies. Equipment, about $2.1 million. So equipment is defined as something that costs more than $5,000 for a single item. So that's not computers. That's large. A lot of our kitchen equipment, it falls in that realm. Our data centers, our servers, things of that nature fall into the equipment realm. And then we have dues and indirect costs, about $2.7 million. So indirect costs are the portion of district operations that we can take from programs to fund the cost of operations. Think, for example, payroll. So we're not direct charging payroll to the CTE program or special ed program or title program. We get an indirect cost percentage where we get a portion of the funding to support the central operations of the office. And that's about $2.7 million that flows back into to support our administrative functions. So total expenses about $147.8 million. That leaves a cushion about $2.4 million, which is probably about average what we see at this time of year. There's always going to be unforeseen expenses. There may be revenue that doesn't materialize, especially on the local side. And so that feels like probably a minimum cushion we'd have for our preliminary estimates at this time of year. As we go throughout the year, I'll always keep an eye on this and make sure there's no concerns. Past couple of years, I've been looking at our history. We haven't had a deficit in our operations fund, and we hope to maintain that way going forward. Any questions?
Will you just specify there's 2 supplies? I know you gave examples from both. There's 2 supplies budgets.
Yeah.
Top one is
should be professional services. I apologize.
And the second one was for like computers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I couldn't remember what that first one was for. Any questions for Neil or comments?
I'd just like to make one comment, Neil. I know as we've worked, as you presented various budgets and items, I know that there are items that you've reported we can stop using this service that we purchased maybe 5 or 10 years ago that's no longer needed, and those types of things. Karen made a comment, and I don't remember if it was a work session or board meeting, about cost savings. I wonder if you'd be willing to lead an effort throughout the district to expand on what you're already doing, engage the entire district, down to teachers and everyone, to, as we move forward with the projects that we need to do, utilizing the budget, the money the best that we can, and just lead an effort to have everyone look for ways that we can, if there are additional services that we purchased were needed 10 years ago and now we don't need them, anything like that, if you could kind of lead that effort and report as you present the budget each month and on how that's going.
Definitely, I can definitely do that. I would comment that most of our contracts max is about 5 years. Then we have to renew them. If contracts or services exceed $50,000, we have to do a public solicitation, either through our advertising on our own website or through the state and purchasing through a state-approved vendor that's already gone through that solicitation process and been vetted and had a competitive process to arrive at a certain price point. So we're always looking at that, but we can definitely be looking and analyzing outside our salaries and benefits where services we're consuming maybe have cost savings.
All right, we're going to move on to our consent items.
I have a couple of questions on the one, probably correction, on the 4/9 board meeting minutes. I was not there, but down on the approval of new superintendent and contract, it was motioned that Keith Carlson was approved as the superintendent. So we might want to change that. Kind of a mixture of the two. And then I have a question on the boys basketball 150-mile trip. It's for June. So I'm wondering, do we have a boys basketball team in June? I thought that once the basketball season was over, then the team disbands and then they try out the next year.
Every summer we have boys basketball go to different summer camps. This is just pretty much commonplace. Keith, would you concur with that?
Yes, it is open to people that would like to participate in that. It's not a requirement. It's not a determination of you are on the team. I don't know exactly how we would list that, but it certainly is not a the team, because to your point, the team has not been created, so it is open to student athletes.
So with that it's not for the team members, so to speak, does the district cover any costs if somebody wants to go but can't afford it? That would be my concern. I wouldn't.
So all fees that are school sponsored are fee waiverable.
So I guess I have concern with that. There are many camps. Many parents send their kids to a lot of different camps. I don't know why we would just pick a few camps, like the basketball camp, to say that the district is going to sponsor and have those fees be fee waiverable. That's a word.
My understanding is all the camps are the same. This one's on here because it's of the mileage.
Right, but not all sports have camps during the summer. Parents send their kids to other camps that aren't necessarily ran through the district in trying to keep their children competitive to be able to make teams for the next sports season.
What specific? Do you have specifics of what are you?
I was told that there are parents that send their kids to soccer camps that aren't necessarily affiliated with the district, but they're doing it to try and make sure that their children are competitive for the next year's teams.
So they're sending them to a private camp.
But for the same reason, and trying to keep their kids competitive.
But that's their choice, right?
But is there those kind of camps offered for every sport?
So I can just speak to just my 20 years as the head basketball coach, being part of that program, or 16, I should say, and 20 overall. There are individual camps that exist at different universities throughout the state and outside the state. However, team camps where you can get all of the people in your school that are interested in playing together, that's been happening since 1993. It happens in football, it happens in basketball, it happens in volleyball, it happens in wrestling, it happens in soccer, it happens in baseball, softball. A variety of teams do this. Sometimes it is not down to St. George, sometimes it's to Provo, sometimes it's to Utah State. They go a variety of places, and the fact that it is going over 150 miles is why I think it was brought to you, right, Superintendent?
Correct. Well, there is a variety of team camps, and in every district I've been in, and when I was a coach 35 years ago, we just would select a camp to go to, and that was prior to school fee waivers, and some of it was in Idaho, I'll be honest, but we would get a team together, and for football, I've been there for basketball camps clear back in the 1990s, and so this has been going on, I think, since there was team sports. Correct.
If there's not a soccer coach that wants to go, then there is a soccer option to go.
Correct.
It's not that we're not supporting the soccer option, it's just that there's not a coach that's doing it.
And there's a possibility the camp that Karen's referring to is what Mr. Minkum said. There's a lot of skills camps that universities put on that kids go to improve their skills to be more competitive when they have a chance to try out or even compete. However, there are team camps, and there's two different kinds, individual skills camp, team camps. There's also, Utah State University puts on a heck of a basketball camp every summer. And sometimes the coach, if you play year-round like you have to anymore to be competitive, you end up playing the same people time and time again during the season, in the playoffs. And so in order to get further away and play different competition, that's why sometimes they choose to go past that 150-mile mark, and it's to help them stay competitive and keep interest in their sport with their students and their parents.
Questions? I don't know if we want. Karen, was that good? Can I ask my next question?
I still have the concerns, so I've just voiced my concerns.
Oh, okay. So I just had a question on the M9. This, do you say Link ERP contract? it just says that we're extending it for a year. Is this something that we do every 5 years? What do they provide?
I think Neil can speak.
Yeah, the Link is our provider for our HR portal, our module, our payroll module, and our accounting modules. They also provide a separate module for our child nutrition management. And so prior to my arrival, there was a contract signed in 2023 for a 3-year agreement. That contract is up, and now we are looking for another 2-year agreement with the same company. Frankly, we don't have the ability to go out and conduct a new RFP for a new system. That's a 18-month undertaking to get to there. So we're recommending we continue with the current contract. There's about a $5,000 increase in price for the next 2 years, and we will continue to reevaluate this every time it comes up. Most school districts, most companies try to keep some stability with your enterprise resource management system such as this, because the cost to transition is so great and so time consuming.
Okay, so usually we have a long-term contract, but because we don't have enough time to find a better system to work with, then we're just extending this for a year so that we give ourselves time to get a better system?
Well, no, let me rephrase this.
Okay.
I'm not recommending us to go out to get a new system because the cost of transitioning to a different system is an 18-month implementation period, plus the cost of training our staff. I'm recommending that we continue with the current system going forward, and this is asking permission to engage in a new 2-year contract.
Well, why don't we just go longer if we like it?
This is what they presented us with. First, they wanted the 1-year option. I asked for a 2-year option, so they gave us a 2-year option.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, that was confusing for me. And then the other, with the approval of the school resource officer contract, I just was curious is that like a stipend, or is that an hourly thing?
We pay 50% of their wages. So
Like if their wages are X, does that mean it changes from year to year from what that amount would be?
yes, it can.
Okay.
So they are employees of the city first and foremost. We reimburse the city for those wages at 50% of their actual rate, including wages, benefits, and we have some uniform and equipment costs in there as well.
Okay, thank you.
And I will add that even though we pay 50% of their salary, they work for us for 75% of the year, and then during the summer they are back in the PDs of either Brigham City or Tremont and Garland. Neil, is that correct?
That is correct. I'd also add that this is one of the better deals that most districts see. Some districts are paying 100% of the salary of the officers, even though they only work for the district 75% of the time. We have great partners in our cities to work with and make this happen.
Thank you. On M13, Target Sports, tell us about that process, and that's a different name than I've heard before.
Target Sports is the parent company name of Field Turf. So Field Turf Target Sports has a statewide contract. They went through a bidding process. So state conducts RFPs on behalf of all state entities like we would do for ourselves, and they have a list of approved vendors with contracts that we can select from with prices already been pre-negotiated. This is one of those contracts, and that we have elected to utilize that process rather than reinventing the wheel to select a vendor for this project.
Thank you. All right, any other concerns, questions on the consent agenda?
I just will note, as previously stated, the concern about the Bear River High School baseball field turf match.
This isn't the match. This is specifically for the baseball, the $500,000 that was
Right.
given.
It kind of goes together.
Donated.
So.
Okay. Anything else? All right. We need a motion.
I move that we approve consent items.
So we have a motion from Danielle Wright and a second by Brian Smith. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We have 4 yes and 1 no. That motion passes. All right, suggestions for future board meetings. We have the suggestion that Brian brought up. Please keep us posted as you attend those meetings with the county commissioners. And if we can figure out how to get those bullet points from those meetings out on social media so our community understands that we are indeed working with the commissioners from the very beginning to see what those implications are for the school district. Any other suggestions for future board meetings? All right. Oh.
I need to do some checking on legalities, but I'm going to make the recommendation, if I can find out, and then we'll talk in board agenda about the possibility of, if Mr. Meekum was approved and sworn in the next board meeting for July 1st, if that makes sense, because that's going to be June 10th. My reasoning behind that is I have 17 days of vacation, and shortly after the board meeting, I'm going to have my office cleaned out, and for all intents and purposes, I'm not sure how much I'm going to be doing the last 2 weeks. I will say this: the week after the board meeting is Juneteenth on Monday, and starting Tuesday is the superintendent's summer conference that both Keith and I will be attending the rest of that week. So there's one whole week gone, and he starts his contract July 1st, but I've never understood that he's not officially appointed till June 10th. So it's never made sense. July 10th. Thank you. And so I'm going to check into that, and I will still do my job until the end. I'll come in the office and, be here and there, but I just think in the transition, I just wanted to make you aware that I'm going to find out the legalities and what that all means. If that's okay with you board members. I was gonna be Southern guy and go, y'all. Sorry.
So you'll keep answering my texts? Okay. Do you have a minute for a phone call? Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Anything moving forward? Danielle has our just quick minute on our board education handbook.
Okay, I'll lean. Picking up where Tiffany left off a couple months ago on school board decision making. And it says, although the board makes many different decisions, all of those decisions can be put into 4 general categories: policy decisions, problem-solving decisions, managerial decisions, and personnel decisions. Policy decisions are pretty straightforward, and if the board sets good policies, it kind of solves a lot of the other problems and eliminates other major decisions and problem-solving decisions from needing to come up. A problem-solving decision is usually, it says, in response to a crisis or an opportunity that cannot be resolved by the superintendent or is not fully addressed in existing board policy. For example, like closing a school due to declining enrollment, or an example that this board did would be changing school start times because of lack of bus drivers several years ago. That was a problem-solving decision. Next, managerial decisions are required of each local school board, are set forth in statutes. A school board is required to implement the core curriculum, administer tests, implement training programs, enroll children in school, establish school libraries, and establish school safety traffic committees, and ensure that community councils receive the required annual training and review and approve the school implement plans developed by the school community councils, like we did tonight. With few exceptions, managerial duties are delegated to the superintendent, and that is in state statute. So, And the last one, personnel decisions represent a special category of managerial decisions. Most school boards delegate personnel matters to the superintendent and use policies to express their desired standards for hiring, evaluation, compensation, discipline, and dismissal. This approach avoids the quagmire of wrestling directly with hiring or disciplining employees other than the superintendent and the business administrator. And that is also in, I think in I can't remember what one, but it's in state statute that the board only has the power to appoint and hire the superintendent and the business administrator. And yeah. Well, that's all I have on that one.
Thank you. Good reminders for all of us. All right, we need a motion to the graduations, probably. Does everyone, I hope we can all be there, right? I think we've mentioned them lots of times, but yes.
Once again, I'll have transportation ready, and we'll come down when we get a little closer to the actual time of departure from the district office to go to Box Elder go to the D Event Center on the Box Elder High School graduation, and then we'll also have transportation from the district office to the Bear River High School graduation the next night. So I'll be a little closer. What's that? On May 26th and May 27th. So I'll send out an email of the time we need to leave to get there together for all that want to go.
Hello. The ILSC is going to have their graduation on May 28th at 9:30 at the ILSC building. So I will send you an invite for that. If anybody's able to attend, that would be really nice.
I know it's getting late, but I need to share this. Last Friday night, one of the members of the Superintendents of Rock Plus group is Superintendent Anthony Godfrey from Jordan School District, and we were able to go to South Valley School, which is Jordan School District's version of the Independent Life Skills Center. And we played, we've all decided in the, 40 or 50 gigs we've done in the last 10 years, that was the very most fun that we had playing at the South Valley School for the 18 to 22-year-olds. It was only their seniors, but Jordan's 4 or 5 times bigger than us, so they had quite a crew. Their parents, it was a Hawaiian theme, and I will say it's pretty special when you attend things like that. And I'm really looking forward. I think this is really the first time I think I've been invited to the graduation, but have they always done this or been less invitey about it, or whatever the word might be? So I'm excited to go, because I will tell you that it's a true joy to see those kids' joy in those types of things.
All right, we need a motion to move into closed session.
I move that we go into closed session, discuss the character and professional competence of an individual. Do we do all of them?
Yes.
Collective bargaining and lease of real property, sale or lease of real property.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. Okay. Karen Cronin is our second? Okay. All those in favor say aye, and we will do a roll call vote. Stephanie? Tiffany Summers, yes.
Danielle Wright, yes.
Brian Smith, yes.
Thank you, and we will adjourn from that meeting.